good in the web? I'm your man Q, back again with a new series this time titled Geakend Newz. That's right, you've got it. Put the two forces together, Geek and the Weekend. Mix it up in a pot with a whole bunch of RPG role-playing game news. And what do you got? Bibbidi bobbidi, bibbidi bobbidi, bibbidi bobbidi Q. There's been a whole slew of role-playing games that have come out in my generation, let alone in the generation before mine, in PC and console and handhelds and even board games from Dungeons and Dragons to, what was that game with Khufu the Mummy? Doesn't matter. My point being is that so many have come and so many have gone, but guess what? One thing has stayed consistent, and that's Pokemon. Whether you hate it, whether you love it, it's always here. And a lot of people forget that Pokemon is actually a role-playing game. It has every classic element to a role-playing game, from going and grinding and getting your characters to random battles to even random treasure chests and upgrading skills. So with all the success and look at the numbers that Pokemon has had, is there really, honestly, when you think about it, is there really an argument for which is the greatest role-playing game series of all time? Personally, I'm still gonna go with Final Fantasy because, well, you know, I got ties with Final Fantasy. But if you look at the numbers, if you really do, and the global appeal, it's hard to make a case against Pokemon. And with the new Sword and Shield Pokemon that's going to be released later this year, I don't see anybody stopping the Pokemon momentum anytime soon. Become a Pokemon trainer and embark on a new journey. Of course, like with all the Pokemon before it, you choose one of 3 different starter type Pokemon. Grookey, which is a grass type, Scorbunny, which is a fire type, or Sobble, which is a water type. And I don't know. I don't know which one I'm gonna choose. Let's just get it out the way. It ain't gonna be Grookey, but I'm choosing between Sobble and Scorbunny. I just love water so much. I just probably gonna go Sobble. This new adventure also promises new encounters and, of course, familiar faces and Pokemon as you catch them, battle them, and trade them while exploring this new Galar region, which is said to be filled with countrysides, contemporary cities, thick forests, and craggy snow-covered mountains. Although the game boasts a new story, let's be real, it's a Pokemon game. Not that that's a bad thing, but as we all know, the story has never been the meat and potatoes of a Pokemon game. It's been all about catching and creating that super Poke Squad. No official release date other than, well, late 2019. But knowing Nintendo like I know Nintendo, which I'm sure you know Nintendo, means probably November-ish, around the holiday season. I mean, why wouldn't they do that? This gives them something to show off also at E3. One thing I've always thought about Pokemon that is really funny is a lot of people always say that kids are the ones who love Pokemon and are obsessed with Pokemon. However, it's actually the other way around. Kids are really drawn to Call of Duty and those kind of games, first-person shooters, a lot more than Pokemon. Not saying that they don't buy Pokemon, but if you go and play online, just take a little listen, put your headset in for a moment, put the chat on. Well, matter of fact, don't put the chat on, it's crazy on there. But you'll see that there's a whole bunch of little kids. And when Pokemon comes around, well, just look at all the people that's my age, your age, and older than the adolescent age that are going to be picking up a Pokemon game. My hopes for this Pokemon game is that it incorporates a lot of the Pokemon Go elements when the Nintendo Switch Online. Hopefully by then they have shored some things up. Please shore some things up, Nintendo, so that way we can go out in the wild and catch certain things and then bring those rarities back and then go to gyms and play the open world Pokemon game at home. Let me dream, y'all. Let me dream. I've been a gamer for a very long time, and there's been a lot of games that are great franchises that I just unfortunately was not able to play of lack of money or due to the fact, which a lot of times it happened more than I would have liked it to, is I was playing another game while that game was coming out. Front Mission and the series in itself, well, that's one of those type of games. Not to mention, a lot of the games, since I love role-playing games, like the first Front Mission, it didn't even come out in America. So, you know, unless you was doing some of that stuff Nintendo don't like no more, you didn't get a chance to play that. But with this new game, Left Alive, which I've been so curious and excited about the artwork because it has that old Final Fantasy artwork to it, I might finally jump into it. Mecha and mobile and military, oh my! Does it seem like we're in a new, like, regenesis of mecha or tech type games right now? I mean, hell, I'm definitely not complaining. Variety is the spice of life. I just wanted to point out that along with Left Alive, which looks amazing, there's a whole slew of other mech games that are going to be out in 2019 as well. Even though it's not a exact date on that new action RPG slash Armored Core game, well, from the makers of Armored Core, Damien X Machina, and then there's Iron Harvest, Biomutant, and Phantom Brigade. Oh, we got so many mech games on the horizon that this year we're gonna be knee deep in oil. Seriously, think about it. It's a lot of mech games coming out. But my bad, I got caught up there for a minute in all the mech games that's coming out and haven't even talked about the actual game, Left Alive. Left Alive is set in the world of Front Mission, taking place between Front Mission 5 and Front Mission Evolved. It tells the story of a human survival from the perspective of 3 different protagonists during a devastating invasion set in the war-torn Yugoslavia in 2127. You'll uncover the full story behind the war through the eyes of 3 different characters as you progress through the game. Have the chance to experience this massive power gap between man and machine, face off against powerful armed troops, armored vehicles, and towering mechs. You can also set up traps, collect, and craft consumables to survive. The game launched on February 28th in Japan and will drop here in the States and in Europe on March 5th. That's right around the corner. And yes, I know, I'm quite aware that the game is considered a third-person action shooter, but it does have RPG elements to the game, as well as, damn it, like, you ain't gotta act me all crazy, it's in the same world as Front Mission series. Come on, y'all. I mean, isn't The Last of Us and Zelda kinda, sorta considered RPGs too? Hey, stop, black person! So apparently I wasn't the only person ready to picket in front of Square Enix's offices for the downright disrespect and outright blatant hate that I felt that they've been showing one of my favorite games, Final Fantasy VIII. I mean, Final Fantasy VIII doesn't have, at least in my opinion, the complete package like Final Fantasy VII, or have that nostalgic appeal that one, let's say, Final Fantasy IX has. Not to mention, it also doesn't have very good luck either. It has the worst timing of any Final Fantasy ever. Just look. I just mentioned it. It's right smack in the middle of Final Fantasy VII and between Final Fantasy IX, which are 2 of the all-time most beloved Final Fantasies. But that still doesn't stop Final Fantasy VIII from having a unique experience and great characterization and a pretty solid story, even though it has its own twists and turns within it. From completely taking magic away, at least in its traditional form, making us have to use our summons or GF's guardian forces in order to use magic and equip it almost similar to an item. No spoilers, of course. And as a matter of fact, it's the only game in the series where the main point is love without the whole story. Something that I feel, personally, a lot of games need to go back to. So why the snub? I initially thought that it was because the All Eyes on Me song, because every time I tried to load a video with the song or that scene in it, I got hit by YouTube's copyright bandits. I mean, the game came out in '99, YouTube, and I bought it. Come on, y'all. So, a few Nintendo Directs ago, Nintendo Switch boasted all of the modern day, well, not quite all, but a lot of the modern day Final Fantasies, except one of my favorites being Final Fantasy VIII. So, after that, I had to dig into the archives and find out what exactly was going on. So, after doing a little digging, apparently, the source code was lost. Yeah, Square Enix, or Square back then, lost the source code. Yes, the source code. The code that makes the game, well, work is gone. At first, I didn't believe this. I mean, I thought it was nonsense because this is a multi-million-dollar corporation, and who goes and loses something that valuable to one of their premier franchises? But according to VG247, link in the description below, this isn't the first time that something like this happened. In fact, when Final Fantasy VII was being ported over to the PC a while ago in the early 2000s, the source code, well, was there, but not fully intact, leaving the game with more than a few bugs and issues that the programmers had to fix. So, after a little band-aiding and patchwork and a whole lot of luck, we were able to get a PC version of Final Fantasy VII. But in the case of Final Fantasy VIII, they just flat out lost the code. What the article is saying, it is more believable than the whole All Eyes on Me song, because back in the day, there wasn't the fancy-dancy Google Drives and storage spaces and clouds where we can just drag and drop huge gigabytes of files and expect them to be intact. This whole story has really made me appreciate the modern day marvels of technology that I take for granted every day. Really? Really? This is really what we're arguing about on the interweb? There's been an awful lot of hate over the Chibi Link, how he looks too cartoony, how he looks like a bobblehead or a pop, and I'm like, hold on, pump the brakes. Me, personally, I actually like this new rendition of Link, mainly because I didn't get a chance to play Link's Awakening back in the day. So for me, this is something fresh that if I do decide to pick it up, that it's a new experience. To me, it looks a lot better than the 1988, 1989 one. I mean, it's an old port, 20 years old. What do you want them to do? During Nintendo's last Direct, no. Not the one that just happened, but the one, that one before that one. It's a lot of Directs lately. Remember when we used to complain about the lack of Nintendo Directs? They had us out here fiending and wondering when we was gonna get one next. And now, which is not a bad thing at all, I love it. But now, we get one that seems like every other month? Okay, Nintendo, we see you. With the addition of getting the remake, reboot, redesign, reimagining, of Link's Awakening, we also got more than a few other RPGs that are going to be coming for the Nintendo Switch that was talked about on the Direct as well. Dragon Quest XI S, with all its special features and functions. Why didn't I wait till it came out on the Switch? I knew it was going to come out on the Switch, and I bought it for the PS4 like only a couple months ago. Fire Emblem Three Houses, which looks great. I haven't played a Fire Emblem since the original Fire Emblem with Marth way back a long time ago, right after Melee dropped. Bloodstained, The Ritual of the Night, Dragon Builders 2, Rune Factory, and Astral Chains, which pretty much almost damn near stole the Direct. It's Shiba!
You don't sound like any American I've ever met.
As always, interweb, this has been your man Q, your friendly neighborhood geek. If you did like this video, please make sure you hit that like button and let us know how we're doing. Put it in the comment section below. And if you wanted to see more of me, which I'd really appreciate that too, G.E.A.K, gaming, entertainment, anime, comedy. I do geekly content almost every day, but It's hard out here on the Geek sometimes. Again, thank you for watching, interweb. Don't forget to eat, geek, sleep, repeat. I'll holler at you later. Peace.